Paul said yesterday, obviously you like where you're at, but he said, even after 58 points, you're always looking for something more. I guess, what are you looking for more from this group?
You know what? I think on the first note that you see improvement each week, which is I'm sure what he's speaking to when he says, he's kind of happy about where we're at. And then, you're fighting to kind of continue to be that consistent team. And that's where you kind of bring up the end of the game where you would like to have finished it in your hands, and take advantage of some of those opportunities with the ball and extended some drives. And we weren't able to do that, and we pointed that out. That's where we needed to be better at the end of that game and be sharper, and the consistency showed up. So I think there's a lot to coach off of, to get better and to learn off of and grow from. And then at the same time, I think they're doing just that. After the third week, third game, you feel like, okay, you just keep climbing now.
In the fourth quarter, you mentioned it, was Duke just sort of stacking the box, preventing you guys from running it, or?
You know what? I think more to the fact that we weren't consistent. It was a guy here, a guy there. And offensively, you could have 10 guys doing a great job. You can have one guy off, and there it is. It's a 1-yard game, and that's what kind of showed up. Whether it was a read by a tailback, whether it was a missed block, a penalty and off. So there was just too much there at the end. But again, gives us a lot to kind of correct and move forward from. But things we got to clean up.
James got more carries this week than maybe he had in the past. Was he tired at the end? Did you get? How do you think he handled getting the increase?
That's a good question. That's a good question. I felt that he was able and ready to go. You know what I mean? But there could have been a little bit of that in there. And I think guys need to get used to that a little bit when it is on their shoulders, and regardless of maybe how tired you are, what's going on the play before, you got to get it done that given play. But nothing going in that you felt like wanted to get more carries here or there, just kind of working with the hot hand, and thought those guys grew and got better as a group, the running back group.
Do you feel like you have a wealth of riches, though, with the two receivers getting so much attention? You've got the tight ends, and that they're factoring into the game more and more.
Well, I think there's going to be times when certain things are taken away by the defenses you see, and those next guys got to be able to step up, and thought the guys that were called on did a great job in the game, and next guy's got to be ready. It's you just plan for what you think you're going to see, and what you could take advantage of, what you can prepare for and get ready for, and thought the receivers did a great job, and thought Tommy did a nice job seeing them and hitting them, and the rest of it will keep fitting around that.
Do you feel as you're going forward, though, teams are going to be almost preoccupied with your wideouts, and that will allow you to do a lot more? The other guys?
Well, I think you have the ability to have an answer to whatever you see, and sometimes those answers are the ball's going to different places, and sometimes these guys just got to win in a situation. But yeah, we're going to need everyone in different roles, and we need everyone to make plays, and they'll all have opportunities to be in that position.
Are you going to use your running backs as who have the hot hand, depending on how the game's going, rather than what happens during the week? If a guy's doing hot, stick with them in the game.
Yeah, I think during the week kind of gives you an idea of where guys are at. Like what they feel comfortable with, runs, or whether how they worked, where their body's at, and then I think you get a feel for it. I thought James took advantage of some runs early. You know what I mean? And that's why he had more carries, and I thought Isaac had a couple tough looks where it just wasn't clean. You know what I mean? But have all the confidence in the world in both of those guys, and we'll just keep working it like that. I thought they play off each other pretty well.
I remember what I wanted to ask was, have you noticed significant improvement from Tom in terms of the mental side of the game? Making reads and checkdowns and stuff like that.
Yeah, you know what? It's stuff that we saw and we continue to see in practice, and I just saw, felt great that he was able to put that consistency, in a game and tie the whole thing together. And I love that about him. He works. It's always